again. One of my great favorites is making wontons or dumplings, something to have in the freezer so that when I come home from work, because yeah, I have a day job now. Nothing like working again. Inertia does not suit me. Anyway, it's good to have things at the ready so that when you're just too damn tired to face dinner or really don't feel like going to 7-Eleven and grabbing whatever, and I'm not gonna, I think I've deleted the McDelivery app from my phone ages ago. Anyway, these are good to have on hand, pop them in the freezer, and whenever you want any, you just take as many as you want out, boil them up until they float, and then you have wontons. So, what I've used for this particular recipe, you can, if you have a favorite filling, the pork meatballs that I did a couple of months back, I'm using that filling. So for about 300 grams of pork mince, I would add a nice handful of chopped fresh coriander. You can chop up the stems finely as well and put that in. Put about a tablespoon of soy sauce, maybe half to a full tablespoon of fish sauce, good quality stuff if you can. Also, Shaoxing rice wine, you don't have to, it's that Chinese rice wine. I use it a lot in my cooking. Use it in a lot of things. It goes very well with pork. What else did I put in this? A little bit of minced ginger, a little garlic, and also for depth of flavor, these are dried mushrooms. Don't use anything expensive like porcini or whatever. These are just from like the local co-op supermarket. They're like a regular dried mushroom. When you hydrate these in hot water, they blossom into this massive mushroom. But if you grate it or blitz it in a mortar and pestle, or your blender, and put about half a tablespoon in, mix that up into your pork mince, let that sit for about an hour, and it really brings a really nice depth of flavor. So what you want to do, maybe about a nice teaspoon each in each of these wrappers. So these wrappers here, I get these from the wet market. They're square, they're fresh. If you can only find round ones, like at the Japanese market downstairs from me, they sell imported ones from Japan that are round. There are plenty of YouTube tutorials on how to wrap those round ones. A really good resource for learning how to wrap your own, because I'm telling you right now, the first time you do this, you'll be like, yeah, I got this. And then you'll be like, mess, oops, the thing ripped. And it happens to me. With this, time is your friend. Just take a good hour, put it to the side on a weekend. What you want is a little sheet pan or a plate wrapped with, covered with parchment paper, because while you make them, you're gonna line up your little tray, pop them in the freezer so they freeze individually. Wet the edges. This will act as your glue. Now here you have a couple of different options to fold. If this is your first time doing this, go very slowly. You do not have to go as fast as professionals do. Every time I do, I end up messing up or ripping the wonton wrapper itself. So here, an easy one to do is just fold it over in half, like you would a piece of paper, gently pressing any air bubbles out. Wet your edges again and fold these. Here's another version. Pressing out air bubbles. Line up on your parchment lined tray or plate. Line them up individually. Put in your freezer. When they are frozen solid, you can then put them in a Ziploc bag all smushed together. Because they're frozen solid, they will not stick together. Therefore, when you go into your freezer, when you're back from work one night and you're really freaking hungry, you can grab as many as you want, 3 to 5 to 7 to, whatever. I like to serve these in a bowl of very simple chicken stock that I've made with chicken bones and things. A very simple chicken stock. I like to doctor up my chicken stock with a little bit of smashed lemongrass, just the whole stock, smash that in. A knob of ginger that you smash with the flat side of the knife, pop that in. Kind of let that infuse in the chicken stock for a little bit and strain out those bits, and then you have it. Also, what I like to do is when you boil your dumplings, I like to boil them separately in a separate thing of hot water because I feel that the flour from the wrappers themselves leaches out in the water. So if you boil your dumpling in the chicken stock, it'll make the chicken stock all kind of funky looking if you want clear chicken stock. Now, obviously you don't have to serve it in a bowl of chicken stock. I just think it's a nice, happy little meal for yourself. Sometimes I just like to make a few dipping sauces for them, and here are a couple. Very simple recipe, just put aside like a good hour of your time on a weekend, pop them in the freezer, boil them in water. When they rise to the surface, they are finished, take them out, and then do what you want. Dip them in a sauce, or put them in a bowl of soup. Anyway, the choice is yours. Have a great rest of the week. See y'all soon. Mwah!